Here's why I like the Mariners signing Hye-Seong Kim this offseason to be their second baseman in 2025. Last offseason, the Mariners acquired Jorge Polanco in a deal that a lot of fans really rejoiced in. Jorge Polanco felt like a sound addition to the Mariners as far as what we needed offensively from that position. And then as the Couch GM, shout out Connor, pointed out in a recent video that he made, something that, we kind of all watched happen, Polanco was the worst defensive second baseman in all of baseball. And not to say that his bat didn't help us win some games. Polanco still had a positive year as far as WAR is concerned. The thing that I think I struggle with the most is if we're going to get less than positive, I think like an overwhelmingly positive performance from that second baseman, what I'd prefer them to do is to run well and play defense well. I'm not saying that Polanco's defensive metrics lost the Mariners more games than his poor bat for the majority of the year outside of like 2 summer months. But if Hye-Seong Kim comes in and does what he's been able to do in the KBO, where it's not just like great defense over there, it's great defense just in general. Like this dude has shown time and time again that he can play defense at second base with the best of them. Used to be a shortstop, moved over to second base in the last 2 seasons. So there's also potential that if Cole Young comes up and is ready in the middle of the season or in 2026, and say JP Crawford continues to flounder, and Hye-Seong Kim has a bit better of an approach and is getting on base at a higher clip and hitting the ball better, just in general, like a more performing bat, you could probably move over to shortstop as well. I know that it is Jon Morosi that is kind of just stoking the fire. He's fanning the flames, making it, spreading the news, if you will. But for whatever reason, and maybe it's because I attached myself to Jung-Hoo Lee last offseason as well, wanting the Mariners to sign him. And if it's this weird attraction to players that hit above 300 in the KBO, sign me up, because if that can translate even a tiny bit, even like the smallest sentiment of it doesn't have to be 300, it can be well below that, because last season we got 213 out of Jorge Polanco. Sure, his 93 OPS plus, like, could we see a metric similar to that from Hye-Seong Kim in his first season? Sure, I wouldn't be surprised at that, because the KBO, it's not nearly on the level of like MLB talent as far as pitching is concerned. It's going to be an adjustment period. But if a dude that hits 300 in 4 consecutive seasons, runs well, like steals over 30 bags, and plays great defense, I think you're going to get more value out of that than a guy who doesn't play great defense and is coming off a knee surgery and everything else in between. And especially at the money that you're going to pay that player, it's going to be, I think, significantly less, because you are taking a gamble. That is the concession that I will make about signing foreign talent, is that you are taking a gamble. Signing anybody from even the NPB, if they're not like the top end stars, it's not going to be like a for sure like lock. But the Mariners have shown that signing guys in the MLB or trading guys around the MLB in positions that they think they have of need haven't been locks either. So why not go out there and try something different? Show that we're willing to get risky and try a different avenue of approach. Hye-Seong Kim feels like that player for me this offseason. Now, we did talk about Hye-Seong Kim pretty extensively on the most recent episode of the Hit It Here podcast, and I also did a video on MLB Mojo, our broad MLB channel. Make sure you guys go subscribe if you are not already. Kind of breaking down the top international free agents, that an article that Jon Morosi also wrote. The yapper, he just provides, okay? Whether or not we like it, Jon Morosi, he provides content, if you will. Hye-Seong Kim, in the last 4 running seasons in the KBO, age 22 through 25, hit 304, 318, 335, 326. He had his high watermark of home runs with 11, most recently in 2024. I do not expect that power to like transition at all. Like he will probably hit like 4 home runs next year, wherever he ends up being, unless it's in Yankee Stadium. And that's just what you're going to get. But if you're getting a guy that hits around 300, doesn't have to be 300 in the MLB, it can be 270. And that still would be, what, the second highest batting average on the Mariners last season? Maybe third? He does run a pretty high BABIP, 350 last season, 375 in 2023. But again, this is a batted ball profile that seemingly will transition to, so long as he's not hitting the ball in the air, if he's hitting the ball on the ground or hitting the ball low, I don't see why he can't still, one, have a decent amount of doubles as far as like where his slugging is going to come from, and also just like be able to slap hits around and get on base and cause havoc with his plus speed. 30 stolen bases in 3 out of the last 4 years, and he had 46 all the way back in 2021. He's going to be 26 next year. I think a 4-year contract, $26 million. MLB trade rumors had them projected at a 3-year contract for $24 million. I think if you give him the extra year, maybe you shave off a little bit of money. You could even, if you don't think he's going to give you as much production now, you could backload it, go like $5 million the first year, $5 million the second, and then do 8 the last 2. That's something that the Mariners can, 1, afford this offseason, and 2, might be able to get their money's worth out of it. And you could even liken this to like a Hye-Seong Kim contract that he signed with the Padres. 4 years, $28 million. Give him a mutual option at the end if he thinks he's worth more money by the end of that year. And by that time, Colt Emerson and Cole Young will be more than ready to take over the reins at second base, in my opinion. Hye-Seong Kim is a guy that I want on the Mariners in 2025. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If you think that these reports or these, you know, the getting the ball rolling, I guess, from Jon Morosi of like, the Mariners are interested in Hye-Seong Kim is more smoke than fire. But I don't know if I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid. I might be, but I really do think the Mariners have a shot. And if he chooses to sign with Seattle, I wouldn't be opposed. I'd be a pretty happy camper. So appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.